Hello everyone, welcome to today's Learn English with Tony. I'm Tony. Today, we continue to analyze a long and difficult sentence in IELTS rating so that we no longer fear those long and difficult sentences. The sentence we're going to study today is, it was only 30 years ago that the building industry felt confident enough to erect office blocks of steel and reinforced concrete that had more than a dozen floors. First, let's study the new words in this sentence. The first one, confident. Confident is an adjective meaning being certain of your abilities or having trust in people, plans, or the future. The second one, erect. Erect is a verb meaning to put together and set upright a building, wall, or other structure. The third one, office block. An office block is a large multi-story building containing the offices of one or more companies. Number 4, reinforce. Reinforce is a verb meaning to strengthen or support an object or substance, especially with additional material. Well, now let's analyze this sentence together. First, let's learn a very important fixed sentence pattern. When we need to emphasize the subject, object, and adverbial in a sentence, we often use the sentence pattern it is or was plus emphasized part plus that or who, blah blah blah. The emphasized part is placed in the front and the other parts are placed in that after. If the subject of emphasis is a person, that can be replaced by who. We can say, it was he who or that read 3 books in the library yesterday. It was he who or that read 3 books in the library yesterday. In this sentence, we want to emphasize the subject. We can also say, it was 3 books that he read in the library yesterday. It was 3 books that he read in the library yesterday. In this sentence, we just want to emphasize the object. Of course, we can also say, it was in the library that he read 3 books yesterday. It was in the library that he read 3 books yesterday. In this sentence, we just want to emphasize the adverbial. In this way, let's take a look at the sentence we analyzed today. Is there also an emphasis sentence? Yes. It was only 30 years ago that blah blah blah. Obviously, this emphasis sentence is trying to emphasize the time adverbial in the sentence. we move on to the second point of analysis. That is, felt confident enough. We all know that the be verbs can be used in conjunction with the predicatives, and the predicative can be the adjective. But what we should also know is that there are actually some verbs in English that can replace the verb be, such as look, find, taste, smell, feel, for senses, or turn, get, go, for changes. One more thing worth noting is about enough. Actually, when enough is an adjective and modifies a noun, it can be placed either before or after the noun. For example, we can say enough time or time enough. However, we must know that when enough is an adverb and modifies an adjective, it must be placed after the adjective. Therefore, we can only say confident enough, but not enough confident. The next key point is about verb reinforced. We all know that in English, when we add the suffix ed to a verb, we turn it into a past participle. Many students think this is a very complicated grammar knowledge. I do not deny this. But the good news is that when you see a past participle before a noun, we just need to treat it as one adjective. However, it is different from ordinary adjectives because the past participle includes two important meanings. One is a passive action, and the other is a completed action. Therefore, the word reinforced should be understood as has been reinforced. The last point is the end of the sentence that had more than a dozen floors. The lack of a subject in this clause makes it a relative clause. But there is one thing to be aware of. That is, the relative pronoun that in this sentence replaces the concrete or office blocks in front of it. In other words, does this relative clause modify the concrete or office blocks in front of it? It's actually really easy. We should know that of steel and reinforced concrete is a prepositional phrase that modifies the preceding noun, office blocks, and then combined with the actual situation to judge whether the office blocks had more than a dozen floors or concrete had. Of course, it's office blocks. In this way, we can understand that the antecedent of this relative clause is actually office blocks rather than concrete. Alright, that's the end of today's lesson. Welcome to like, share, and subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye.